Glad to talk to you, man. How you feeling? Rookie season, first podium of your career. You know, peaks and valleys is kind of how I would summarize the season. But what do you take away so far?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Definitely some peaks and valleys, but we're getting it all in this rookie year. So yeah, some rounds have been a struggle and some have been over the top. So yeah, it's been a good season and a lot of learning so far, and just getting all these tracks under my belt's been huge. So yeah, I think it's going to help a lot for next year.
How has the team been with expectations? Like, I don't know what your personal expectations were coming into outdoors. Was the team, Nathan Ramsey and the boys, just kind of saying, hey, let's learn, let's take it slow, or were there higher expectations than maybe I would know about?
Yeah, the whole team's kind of expectation and goal this year was just, do all the laps and race all these races, because the original plan for me was I was supposed to be in A class this year and be amateur and do Loretta's. So yeah, this whole year wasn't even really supposed to happen. So they're all just like, yeah, just go enjoy it and do some learning. And more recently, we've kind of just been, let's get top 10 finishes every weekend. So yeah.
What has been the biggest surprise for you? Has anything stood out where you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, whether it be just the day-to-day grind or the level of competition? Does anything stand out?
I think everything kind of hit me last year with doing the two I did last year.
Yep.
That kind of like really opened my eyes. So I kind of knew what to expect coming into this year doing those, which was really helpful. So I already knew the guys were going to be really fast and super intense. It's so gnarly out there. And yeah, I mean, when you do a full season, it kind of shows like the fatigue and you're getting on a plane every weekend and flying across the country and flying back and racing and then training during the week. It definitely builds up. So it's kind of perfect with this break we have. It's coming in at the perfect time because I'm sure a lot of the guys are pretty gassed right now.
Absolutely.
Hey Casey, with it was super cool and exciting to see your moto that you had at Millville, where you're in the lead and man, for a while I really thought that you were going to pull that one off, and Kitchen made a late push. But was the feeling like a holy crap, I'm in the lead, or was it like, all right, I'm in the lead, let's go? Like, what? Just kind of take us through that moment and how you felt at the end when you noticed that Levi was starting to put the pressure on.
I think for the first time, since that was the first time that's ever happened, you're kind of like, oh yeah, holy crap, I'm leading a pro national right now. But then after like leading a few laps, I was just kind of like settling in and it felt pretty just, I felt at home, and I wasn't really like, those conditions were tricky. So I wasn't pushing too hard because I mean, one small mistake and you're throwing it away. And I'm like, I haven't been in this opportunity yet, and I don't want to throw this thing away. So I wasn't like pushing super hard, like necessarily like trying to like, okay, I need to build a huge gap if I want to win this, which I did. But yeah, my mind was just, all right, don't throw this thing away. Just ride consistent, and riding consistent like got me a big gap. And I was like, I don't know, maybe these guys are just not gelling with the track like I am right now or something. And then yeah, Levi put in a late push and rode good. So when I saw him coming, I was kind of just like, I sped it up a little bit and took a little more risk. But then once he got around me, I tried to fire right back at him, but he was riding really good. So then I was just like, all right, let's just bring this thing to the end.
You kind of have to run with the guys in the top 2, 3, 4, 5 to figure out what that pace is like and to start getting used to it. And Redbud, you ran some really good motos, and then Millville being that top 3 there for a little while. That's a totally different pace though. So once you were up there, did you kind of say, oh, okay, I see what this is like. I kind of figure out how to maintain it. Was it a big eye-opening learning experience running that pace?
It's crazy because Redbud was probably one of the easiest rounds like of the year for me, because whenever you're running up front and you can actually like go where you want and you're not in like a super intense battle the whole time, it makes it so much easier, even though you might be running a faster pace. But it like, I think Bennett said this early in the year, but like when you're in that like 16th for like the whole moto, it is more tiring than running in like 7th or 8th for the whole moto. It's like, it's gnarly. Like that race where I was leading laps was probably the easiest moto of the year that I've had.
It really does prove how important getting good starts is, doesn't it?
Definitely, for sure.
You've been working on those more?
Yeah, I mean, we've tried a bunch of different stuff and changed a bunch of things, and it worked out at Spring Creek, and then not so much at Washougal.
Yeah. When you say you're trying some things for starts, is that maps? Is that technique? A little bit of both?
Yeah, technique, and then like whole shot button position, and I added like an RPM light to my front fender, just another thing to look at and kind of know that you're in the right spot.
Sure. Okay. Casey, where is your confidence level at right now at the races, and how does it compare to practice during the week? Because we hear all the time, guys, during the week, they're just absolutely ripping, fastest guy on the track at their local test track, but then they get to the race and you struggle. So where is your confidence level during the week versus race day?
Well, I've always been more of a race guy. I've never been like super, super fast in practice. Like if I was racing someone in practice or like out at Paula for like a practice day, I've always never been like the fastest guy in practice, and always do a lot better in racing. So I think the weekend at Spring Creek definitely helps confidence with racing and being up there and just seeing it all. So that brings confidence into the week. And then, I just think it helps overall, and the confidence is definitely building, but I've always been more of a race guy compared to a practice guy. And I'm pretty much anyone I've like trained with or trainers would probably agree.
What do you think that is? Is it just trying not to push the edge during practice, or is it just once the gate drops, it's just a different situation totally?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I mean, because I feel like I put in 100% on the practice track and then 100% at the race, and it's like it's the same thing overall. It's just different.
Just the competition probably brings, the competition level just steps up your game a little bit, I would assume then.
Yeah, probably. That's probably it.
High Point, Moto 1. You went for a ride, man. That was scary. And were there any like lingering effects?
Actually, not a single thing.
Oh,
like
good.
I got out of that thing unscathed. Like I didn't have really any bruises or anything. Like crazy actually, that I got out of there with basically nothing, like no scratches, no bruises. So
that was one of the ones where I kind of came off my seat sitting at home like, oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah. When that happened, it was like right when it happened, I'm like, oh, I can maybe save this. And then right when I saw my front tire, like go towards like another bump, I was like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
To be young.
Yeah. No big deal.
It happens to us. We break everything.
Dude, we just tip over in a corner and it hurts. I get hurt thinking about crashing. What do you feel like it's going to take to consistently be in that lead, say top 4 or 5? Is it just more time? Are there specific skill sets you feel like you need to improve on?
I think starts is a huge thing. Just consistently getting top 5 starts is going to be massive. And yeah, I think just building bases, building endurance, building strength, is going to help a lot. I mean, everything's coming together. So yeah, it's just everything all around is just gonna help no matter what. I mean, obviously I'm still growing, so time is gonna help as well. So yeah, all of it'll come together, and I think we're gonna be in a pretty good spot for next year.
I figured you would probably be pretty good on like chatter bump, stuff like that, doing all the vintage racing you did when you were younger with no suspension. Talk a little bit. Do you still, is that something that you enjoyed doing? Would you do it again? Is that something that you will do like if you ever get any time off?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was really fun because my grandpa is huge into vintage bikes, and he has a massive collection, and it was really cool for him to supply the bike and go watch and kind of be like the crew chief. So he really enjoyed it, and it was cool for me to be able to race with like a little pit crew of all him and his buddies. So yeah, it was a really cool experience, and I would probably do it again, and I wouldn't take back doing it at all. It was really cool. It gave me a whole new look on like the respect for those guys back in the day, because those things are tricky to ride.
Yeah, not a whole lot of scrubbing going on, right?
No, it's a whole different ball game on those.